When I was 25 years old, I had what everyone said was the dream job: 6 figures, luxury travel, downtown apartment. But after a $25,000 paycheck, I quit. No backup plan, just needed to see what was out there. And I nearly went bankrupt. I became within a month of giving up, losing everything, but then something started to happen. I learned 6 systems that allowed me to change the way I view business and my life. If you're thinking about starting your own business, traveling, or just wanting to optimize your life, this video is for you. And that leads me into system 1, and that's just freedom is worth more than money. So right out of college, I graduated with an industrial and systems engineering degree, which allowed me to work for Eaton Corporation, which is a multi-billion-dollar Fortune 5000 company. And I had an amazing opportunity to be in their leadership development program, but I wasn't happy. I felt like someone else owned my time, and every progress I made or every win I had was someone else's. That's when I knew I had to quit. From there, I set a really simple, basic goal. It was $10 a day of profit because I was planning to move overseas to Asia. And as soon as I hit that $10,000, I knew that I would quit. And I went ahead and put in my notice. It was very difficult for me. My hand was shaking as I wrote the letter, and I had to have the support of my friends and family to do it. You have to understand why I quit. And it was really because I wanted to own my own time. I wanted the freedom, and I wanted to know that whatever I put into the work, I was going to get out. I thought it was really important to understand the skills that would allow me to make my own money, not someone else's. So I realized that I didn't want someone else to be in charge of my path. I actually, in the process, was looking into doing my MBA and going back to school to get maybe a better job or a higher paying job. But what I realized is every MBA I wanted was $200,000. And I figured I would rather take that bet on myself. So instead of taking out a $200,000 loan for school, I took out a $50,000 loan right before I quit and invested it into my checking account for me to live the lifestyle I wanted while traveling and to invest in my businesses and figure it out as I go. I had no plan for it. I think I had about an 8% interest rate, and I just said, fuck it, but let's ride. And I used that money to fund some e-commerce products and things like that. But the biggest takeaway here was that freedom for me was more important than a paycheck. And a lot of my health issues got better as soon as I quit and started traveling, which clearly related to stress and other items. Now, my next system was really focused on mentorships, partnerships, and learning from others. I had built an e-commerce brand, and I was doing about $1,000 a month in revenue. You guys want to check it out? It's Rave Doctor. It's one of my favorite brands. But I was doing my $1,000 a month in revenue. I had been lucky to partner with someone who had some business experience in the past, and they helped me get over the hump of just starting, which I probably one of the biggest things, that fear of failure. I did end up taking $10,000 and investing it into that product line, and so did he. So it was a 50-50 split. And what I did was, while I was traveling, I decided that I would take a course. I got an ad from an Amazon course. It was, I believe, called The Last Amazon Course You'll Ever Need, or something silly like that. I did end up taking another Amazon course after that, but they were so right. I buckled down and sat in a coffee shop for 30 days, took the course, and every single day I implemented something I learned in that course. So it wasn't me just watching videos and learning, it was me watching a video, pausing, implementing, watching a video, pausing, implementing. And so this system of learning from people that have done it took me in 1 month from $1,000 a month in revenue to $30,000 a month in revenue. Absolutely life-changing, seeing that I was able to have success. Now, the thing with $30,000 in revenue in an e-commerce brand, when you have to buy more inventory and run ads, the margins were maybe 25%, but split 50-50, definitely not enough to live off of. So while this sounds great, and I was so excited, I had broken everything I thought was possible, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to live on past what I was currently doing, which was staying in hostels. And at that point, I started getting some private rooms and really enjoying my life. System 3 is where things really started coming together. At the same time, I had started a marketing agency focused on automation. There was a lot of demand for it and it was selling pretty easily. Very low ticket, selling it for like $50 to $80 a month. I had a couple clients paying $500, but like 2 or 3. And I was hitting capacity. I was stressed. I was, again, no longer living the lifestyle I wanted. I was working every single day and I had to wake up and manage literally 100 clients, and I was doing most of it by myself. And so that's where I started really focusing on things that I learned as an engineer. I started refocusing on SOPs. And so I would build standard operating procedures, and daily SOPs is something that I've kind of coined, and focusing on what things my team can do. And so at that time, I didn't even have a team. So what I did was I was in the exact same coffee shop that took me from $0 to $30,000 a month. And at this point, I was like, okay, I need to build all these repeatable systems so I can bring in a virtual assistant or VA. And what I did was, before I did any of that, I documented all of the tasks that needed to be done, what the goals were, what the outcomes would look like, and then the procedures or how exactly to do those tasks. So I spent an entire 2 weeks documenting this for one new hire. So that way, when they came on, they could just go through and start learning every single step, really without my time. So as I was doing processes, I was documenting them. And then I hired my first employee and was able to start really regaining some of my time and focus on other pieces of the business, but also focus on the lifestyle that I was trying to create. Now, all of my efforts were really starting to pay off, and I was thinking that I had made it. I sat down at one point and I was like, what's next? Especially since my cost of living was so low. I think an entire year in Asia, I spent about $15,000. I was very excited that if I just kept on that path with my cost so low, I literally had admitted I could retire on that amount of money, in the sense that just consistently going through that process. But then, as things do, everything broke. My automation agency stopped working. The systems that I put in place stopped working, and it all fell apart. And the e-commerce brand wasn't enough to sustain me. So I actually moved back to Orlando, my hometown, and moved in with my business partner at the time. And we doubled down on Rave Doctor, which was still working, and we actually bought the largest inventory order we'd ever ordered right before COVID for our product that sold specifically to live events. Let me tell you, the events got canceled. We had $100,000 in inventory, and we were expecting to do significantly more in sales, and I was able to pay, typically when I order, you pay 50% up front and the other 50% on the back end. But I needed sales to keep working, because that's the next system, is sales are the engine to every building. My engine of sales died with the events dying. So I had about $50,000 of inventory that I had to pay off. And I had no way to pay it off. And so what I did was I looked at what me and my business partner at the time were good at. We had a lot of experience. We both ran similar marketing agencies in the past. And so we combined efforts and started Otter Public Relations. And if anyone started a new business here, it's very, very difficult to start making money super quickly. Usually it's a slow ramp up. The first year is pretty slow. Second year, you kind of get some progress. Third year, you get your feet under you kind of thing. But this one was different. In month 1, obviously we started at 0. We ended up hitting $10,000 in revenue, which was incredible. And it was mostly profit this time, so very different. And we used that money to pay people to help us execute the service and then to pay off our debts. And then month 2, we went from $10,000 a month to $70,000 a month, which was absolutely wild. And that's why I say System 4 is sales engine. It took a lot more than I expected to make that happen. We were doing about 10,000 outbound cold emails a day. We had me and my business partner doing nonstop sales calls, and then we had to figure out an operations team to fulfill all of that. Because of the rapid growth, we were hiring anyone we could on Upwork to implement and help us fulfill our marketing service. And we just were working really, really quickly. We hired contractors, and things broke, but things also worked. So it was a really exciting time, and we were able to fully pay off our debt, and we didn't have any issues, and the businesses continued to grow from there. The next month we crossed from 70 to 100,000, and it was just one of the most exciting times as a business owner. As we started to scale out of public relations, I really leaned back into System 3, where I was focused on systematizing, delegating, procedures, SOPs to scale the business. I actually took what I call a vacation test. So after, I think at month 4, I took a month and a half off with my business partner, and we had put some leadership in place and put them in charge. And miraculously, we came back after a month and a half and most of the business was still there. But what it did was it allowed us to see the holes in the business. So we focused on doubling down on our systems and our training program and implemented Auto University so that as we hired people, we could train them and get them to do their jobs better and more effectively with more clarity. Now, System 5 is a unique one because it really jumps back into System 1, where we talked about lifestyle and freedom being more important than business. But as I grew Otter and my other agencies, I crossed almost $8 million a year in revenue. I've done over $30 million so far in revenue, which is incredible. But I had lost the freedom and the lifestyle. So I really started looking more at how do I redesign these businesses and how do I recapture my time. So diving back into the other systems and looking through them. And a lot of it comes from the systemization of my business and focusing on empowering people to be successful. But the key here in System 5 is just focusing on designing the business you want, because scale isn't always the best thing. When I grew my company so large, we also have massive overhead. So one of the pressures that I have to deal with is that if we have a bad month, it's how do I pay the team? And so I've been re-looking at how to redesign the businesses so that they run leaner, more effective. And this all seems common sense, but a lot of people chase top line revenue where it's really profit and cash in your pocket that are going to matter the most, outside of course, making the impact to other people. No business works without making a solid impact, or you will eventually fall apart. Now, System 6 and my final system is understanding the value of compound, whether it's capital compounding, systems compounding, commercial properties compounding. Everything you do has a compounding effect if you do it correctly. And so your goal is to really take the time to build the foundation so that your business can compound on each other. I've implemented systems and team and leadership to allow my business to compound. And at the same time, I invested any extra capital I've had into real estate and into the stock market, into experimenting other businesses and into YouTube. So all of these things slowly compound over time. And this year I actually had a slower year when it came to top line revenue. However, my net worth grew more than any other year based on my money invested, my properties, and other pieces. So focus on just doing the right things. And again, like I said, design the business the way you want it to make sure that you're building a lifestyle in the future versus just chasing that top line revenue. If you're stuck and working hard, you don't need more hours in the day. You need systems that help you solve the bottlenecks in your life and in your business. If you want to see exactly how I implement systems into my business, check out the Founder Systems AI course, linked down below.